transaction tables and static tables. Okay, so transaction tables are also called as business tables, and static data table are also called as master table. Okay, so the main difference between the transaction table and static table is transaction table. On the name itself, you can say that for each and every transaction, the this table will be impacted. Like if we updated a record or deleted a record or insert a record, so like this DML operations. So whenever the DML operations are done, these transaction tables are get impacted. Okay,
What is DML?
you don't know about SQL?
No. What is DML? Did you say SQL or DML?
Yeah, data manipulation language.
Oh, okay, okay. Got it, yeah.
So whatever the things that we are doing with the DML, then this transaction tables are get impacted. It means the in the table the record will be inserted, or the record may be updated, or the record will be deleted. But,
Okay.
but the static tables are do not get impact when we done transactions. Okay, these tables are known as master tables, or we can also call it as reference table. So the main thing is here, whatever the data that we have in that master table, we can just refer that data into the another tables. So there is no impact when we do the transactions. So in Pega, if you see, whatever the table that starts with PC underscore, so the tables are called as transaction table, and whatever the tables that starts with PR underscore is called as master table. It means reference table. So these are the main tables that we are using in the Pega. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, we'll see about the activities today. So activities. So what is the use of these activities? So these are used to implement the business logics. Okay, and the activity is created under technical category. And the if you want to see the instance for this class, you already know that, right? On actions, we can click on view XML and we can search for the PXOBJ class. For the activity, the instance class is rule obj activity. So okay, so the maximum number of steps allowed in the activity is 28. I mean, we can write more than 28, but the good practice is 28. If we have more than, if you want to write more than 28 steps, then we can do like we can reduce the steps, or we can create another activity. In that activity, we can continue the remaining steps, and we can call that activity into the another activity. So So what are the things that we can do with the so what are the things that we can do with activity? So we can create a pages. We can create a pages on clipboard, and we can assign the values to the properties and call other activities into this activity, and call database tables and pass queries and call other applications by using web service protocols. So like this, um, we can do many things in the activity. Activity is like a uh, it's like some kind of hard for the Pega application. So without activity, we cannot able to do anything. And when we directly run the activity, activity data will not be getting stored into the back end. Okay, here we have an option to run the activity. Whenever we run the activity, whatever the data that we are seeing, those data cannot be stored into the backend. Let's see, these are the some basic method, some basic methods that we are using our day to day life is. First one is obj browse. So what is meant by obj browse? So this method we are going to use to fetch the multiple records from the table. So if we want to fetch multiple records from the table, then we are going to use the obj browse. We are providing a page name and whatever the class, like wherever the data is available, we need to give that obj class, and what are the maximum records that we need to get. And row key is like, with the help of PEGA-06 key, we are getting those reports. If you don't want, we can also uncheck this. Okay, and fields here, what every data type. Okay, every data type we need to configure a key here. So whatever the key that we are providing there, so that key we need to give here, like property. So and condition, like whether it is a value only property or contains, starts with equal, not equal, like this. We are going to give the conditions. Okay, so this is one method we are going to use regularly in order to fetch the multiple records. And
I have a question. What was the page name? I didn't get that. Why do we give there in page name?
so page name is like whatever the page that we are giving. Simply we can say whatever the data that we are retrieving on the based on that class, the data we are going to place it on the somewhere
Okay, so the
in
data
that
will
page name.
be loaded to that page that we are
Yeah,
giving the
because
name for that
even
page.
if you retrieve the data, in order to hold the data, you need some place, right?
Got it, yeah. So
So what are
from
the
pull the
places?
data from database and keep it in that page, right?
What?
No, we pull the data using the obj browse and then it will be stored in that temporarily in this page in
Yeah.
clipboard, for example. Okay, got it.
So that is for multiple records. So what about if you want to fetch for the single record? So for that we are going to use obj open. So this is the method used to fetch the single record. So here simply we can give the class name and what are the properties, like I already told you that if you want to search for the first name, let me like commercial details dot win value. If you want to give directly, we can also directly hardcode the value. If win 001 I want to fetch. If you don't, we can also give like uh, these are we can call as page classes. Py work page dot commercial vehicle dot win. So here we can give like this. So value. So whenever we run the transaction, where that win value will be stored on the PY work page, on PY work page, commercial vehicles page list, win property will be there. So if we give like this, so whatever the thing that we are providing there, that can will be open. Or if you don't want, we can directly hard for the value as well. So this is obj open is used for to open the single record. Now obj open by handle. So what is this? See here the property is means whatever the key, primary key, whatever the primary key that we are selecting for that class, we need to provide the primary key here in order to open the single record. So then what is this method is used? Obj open by handle. See it is asking about instance handle. What is meant by instance handle? So instance handle is nothing but PEGA-06. So if you want to open any record by using instance handle, go to that first, go to that work object and take the period and escape that work object and simply place it here. It will open that record. Okay. And if you want to save the data, we have a method called obj save. Obj save is the method we are using to saving the data to the backend, and obj delete is used to delete the record from the table, and obj delete by handle. I mean, if you want to delete any particular record by using instance handle, by using pj and hq, we can use obj delete by handle. Okay, these are some obj methods we are using in activity, and let me show the common methods where whatever the activity that we are going to create for each and every activity, we at least we can see these methods. First one is page new. So this is the method we are going to use for the to create a pages on the clipboard. So whatever the page name that we are giving, we don't need to provide any parameters here. We can just what are the step page. So whatever the page name and step page we are giving, that page will be created on the clipboard.
And what is the step page? We did not discuss that, right?
Step page is nothing but the page. We can say like suppose here I am giving template. I'm giving class framework. So firstly, I created a step page. Sorry, I created a page, right? So if in the second step, so if you want to access the properties, if we click on the property name and click on down arrow, see, if you want to give the properties, what are the in which class you are going to see the properties? Commercial vehicle. So commercial vehicles is related to which one? Implementation work class, right? So I mean, see, but we are in implementation work class. That's why we are able to see the implementation work class properties. Now, if you want to access the framework class, well, for the framework class work class, we have given the page name. So this page name we are going to giving as a step page. So if I give the temp page, and now we click on dot, is it temp page dot age. Like this, we are going to access the framework work class properties into the any class, whether it is implementation work class, any or any data class. Property set is to assign the properties to value, assign the values to the properties. Suppose tempage dot age is there. So I can assign the value as 25 to the age property. Like that property set on the name itself, we can see that we are setting property with some value. See property set in description, we can you can see that set property values. Yeah, yeah. And if you want to now we created a page, right? And these are like some unwanted pages. If you don't want this page, after we retrieve the data and we set the some value, and after saving, in order to save, using obj save, right? So after saving the data, then we need to remove the page. So in order to remove, this method we are using this method called as page remove. And here we in step page we are giving whatever the page that we want to remove. So the page will get removed. Okay. So these are the some basic methods we are using in activities. So now how we are getting the, we have country, right? So how we are getting the data on the countries drop down? So we are getting that countries values on the country drop down, because we have provided the table values in the countries page. I mean that countries property. That's why we are getting countries in the drop down. Let me open the property. How we are getting the country values? Because we have given the country values in the property itself. That's why we are getting. Now the requirement is like I don't want to display the properties which are in the framework or class. Okay. So write down the requirement like working with the data type and activity. Noting down or not? Create a data type by name countries. In organization data class. Properties are country code and country name. Okay. Now, create an activity to fetch country codes and names from the country table. country codes and names from the country table. Right. So wherever we created the data type, where in order to retrieve the data, the activity is also created in the the same class. So what is the class? Organization class. So create this activity in organization class. Okay, and modify customer details form. Yeah, customer details form country drop down. Yeah, as described below. So first one, present country drop down is sourced by local list. Is sourced by second point. Remove that local list. Third one, populate this drop down by using activity clipboard page. Clipboard page. Yeah. Okay. Now let me show you. Create huh? The data class. What what is the requirement that I have told you already noted down, right? And removing the local list for here. Even if we change the drop down using the activity, if there is a local list values, it will pick the local list values only. The data will be ignored. That's why we are removing the local list values in the drop down. Now, what is the first thing we need to create a data type? So here, click here and add data type. So what is the label? Label I'm giving as country.
Sorry, I didn't get where are you creating the data type? Where did you click? Data types? Okay.
You are not watching.
Yeah, I missed that. Data types, create, add data type.
In the left
Okay.
side, you can see the data type, right?
Okay, okay. New data
Yeah.
type.
Add data type.
Okay, got it. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Countries. And click on advanced. And here we need to select what is the parent class. So what is the parent class? Organization class. Organization data class. So SBICICI data is the organization data class. Now whenever we create data type for the we create a data type. Yeah. Have you read the inheritance? If you understand the inheritance, You can simply understand this one. Even framework or implementation on top of this, organization is the main one. ICICI. That is the organization. In that organization, framework is there on top of framework. I mean, after framework, we are going to creating an implementation. So now, the order is implementation. On top of implementation, we have framework. On top of framework, we have organization. Okay. Now, whatever the things that we are creating the framework, that will be accessible to the implementation. The same like whatever the things we are creating the organization in those organization uh, data will be able to access for both framework and implementation. Organization is the topmost class. Understand? Still issue any issues? See, see whatever the things that we are doing, it is not like same based on the requirement. Currently, my requirement is this. That's why I'm creating in the organization data class. Maybe in the enterprise application, the requirement may be different. That is based on the business, right? Based on that, you need to think whether it is creating organization data class or implementation data class. You need to think, research about yourself. No one will tell you create an organization or create in a framework like that. You need to understand the business requirement first. Then you should get know, and you should have clear idea about the inheritance. Then only you can able to do it. Okay. So I'm setting the ICICI organization rule set. ICICI data. Okay. Submit. So here add fields. What is the fields? Country code. Name. Now we can let's see now. ICICI data countries. So this will be created as a concrete class and does not belong to a class group. And parent class is ICICI data. And if we have the text connection, see whatever the data class without source, those will be stored under peer underscore other table. Okay. Now this we also did previously for the claims one. Okay. We have created a claims class, right? So that one and this one is same up to now. Now see here we have only properties, but what we need to have we need to have a actual data, right? For that, if you want to insert those records, go to the sources and create a local source. See up to now here we cannot able to add the records. If we can create a local source here, or if you go to records and configure source, click on configure source. Then let's see. In order to configure the source, we need at least one key value. So I'm using as a country code as a key. Submit. So if we click on view details, we can see that one database table is created. So it is created a separate database table, that is PR. So this data I already said that reference tables or static tables are do not get impacted. Those are all reference table. It means we are referring the data available in PR table to the another table. So data type is the reference table. It means it is the master table. See, we can see the PR. So this is the database table created and mapping created, and one report definition is created, and data page, single data page and page list data page is also created. Now if you see, go to the countries and just refresh this. Now if you click on text connection, now what is the table it is showing? PR underscore ICIC underscore data underscore countries. So this is the table. Let's check in the DB whether it is created or not. I think we need to refresh. See, count also increased 358. It means some table is added. PR underscore data underscore ICICI. See, this is the table. If you click on view the data, see what are the columns it is created: country code and country name. And country code, we can see that PK. PK is nothing but primary key. And these PX commit data, these are all OTP properties. Now what we can do is we can just add some records. Okay, click on add records. Now I have added 4 records. I am just saving this one. Now if you go to the table and refresh it, so how many records we have inserted? 4 records. So we can see that 4 records in the table. So it is created a separate DB table and a separate columns. Okay. Okay, understand. Definitely. And see, in data model, data page created and properties created. Did we created any of these things? No, we didn't created anything. See, whatever it did, first of all, it is created a class, and then it is created a data pages, and it created a properties, and it created a report definition. Okay. Now, what is the next requirement after creating data type? Speak up. The next requirement is to fetch the countries by using activity. No, 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 no. 1 minute. So the next requirement is we need to create an activity, right? So so where we need to create an activity, I already told that. Where whatever the class that we created, here the activity created in, I mean, the data type is created in ICICI data class, right? So ICICI organization data class. So we also need to create the activity in the organization class only. Technical activity. Activity. Which countries?
You are creating in framework class, right? You said organization.
I can change it here. Why don't
Oh, okay,
I want to change it here? I can simply change it here.
okay.
ICICI rule set. Create and open. Now, so now we need to fetch the countries. So what is the method that we need to use? Why browse? Why we need to use obj browse? Why don't we use obj open? Yeah, so multiple records. That's why we are going to use the obj browse. Obj browse open. What is the class? ICICI hyphen data countries. So whatever the countries that I have fetched, I want to hold these countries in the countries page. Okay. So whatever the things that we have fetched, those will be in countries page. So uncheck this get key because we are getting directly data from data type, right? So here we don't think anything to do with PJ dynasty things. Now, what are the columns that we want? I mean, what are the columns that we want? We want both country code and country name, right? So I want both country name and country code and dot country name. Okay. Now save this one. It is saved, right? Now run this activity and let's check whether the data is pulling or not. Run. Success. Let's open the clipboard now. What is the page name? countries. So countries got created. Okay. See, OBJ browse is nothing but a retrieving multiple records. So multiple records in the sense of like a page list kind of property. So what is the page list? How the clipboard structure we can see the page list. So whatever the records that we are retrieving, those will be stored under the PX results. So and each page list, the PX OBJ class is for each. Not only this, in anything, the page structure is the page list. Then the PX OBJ class is code PEGA list. Okay, expand this countries and expand PX results. You can see PX results of one. One is India, two is America, three is United Kingdom, and four is Australia. Okay. Now we have the data. Okay. Now what we need to do? We need to apply this data into the countries dropdown. Okay. Now let's see. Open that section. Customer details. Double click on countries. For drop down kind of thing, we have multiple sources to display the data. Currently, for the first one, what we have seen as defined on property. As defined on property is nothing but the local list which we have given in the property itself. Next one is a clipboard. Now we are using the clipboard. Clipboard page is nothing but we are creating an activity like those kind of things. Later we can also see the how we can use data page to retrieve the data and report definition to display the data like that. Okay. So I'm selecting clipboard page. First of all, we need to do like where the actual data is available. So the data available in the clipboard on which page? Countries page, right? So we need to give these pages and classes on the section itself. Then only we can able to access those data. So what is the page name? If we feel anything, we can mistype. You can simply copy and paste. So countries page name. What is the class? And where the results are storing countries.px results, right? See countries.px results. One is indicating index value. It means only for one record. Instead of that, if we choose this px results in the sense of it can retrieve all the results. And what is the px results of obj class? Data countries. Now go to the design, double click on countries and clipboard page. So what is the clipboard page? Countries page. Okay. So where the I mean where that px results are available, countries page.px results, right? So countries.px results. So what is the source? Whether we are running data transformer activity, we are running activity. Click on run activity, and what is the pre-activity? Fetch countries. So what it will do is before loading the country drop-down property and the UI, first of all it will run the activity. So when it runs the activity on countries.px results page, the results will be populated. So before loading the property, all these things will be happen. Then at the end of the loading of this property, the data will already available. Then it will displayed on the UI. So what is property for value and property for display text? It means so property for value is nothing but a background value, and this is a displayed on the UI. So let's suppose I will show you. A property for value in sense of I'm choosing country code, and property for display text as country name. I will show you on the clipboard once we selected the country name and country code. Okay. Now submit and save. Let me do one more thing. Instead of directly showing the country name itself, I can add the one placeholder. Here we can add some placeholder like can give anything here. I'm giving like select, submit, save. Now run the flow. See, we are getting from the where we are getting this. We are getting from the data type. Okay, so now I am selecting America. On the UI, what you are going to see on the UI? India, Australia, United Kingdom, like this we are seeing as a strings, right? So I have selected America and click on submit. Now check the clipboard, go to the PY work page. In the country, what you are seeing America or country code. Country code we are seeing. So this is the thing that we have applied, like property for value in the sense of whatever the value that is we can see in the background, and property for display text, it means the value we can able to see in the UI. Now did you know the difference between why we have given like that? For country property for value we are giving country code that we can see in the clipboard, and property for display text we have given country name that we can see in the UI. Okay. And is any more? Yeah, claims. See here the main difference is we have created a, but here we cannot able to see because claims is a data class. Okay, we cannot configure any source. But countries we have configured the source rights, means we can able to enter the records, right? So the claims is a data class, but countries is not a data class. It is a data type. So data type can have the separate database table and separate columns, and we can directly insert. Yeah, 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 yeah. There we used only properties, but here we insert the data. Whatever the data that we are inserted directly map it to the DB table. But whatever the data class that we created yesterday, that doesn't have any table mapping. It is only just for reference. So that's why it is a, even it is a data class. Before we cannot before we configure the source. Now we configure the source, right? That's why it is a data type now. If we didn't configure the source for this one also, it is also a simply data class, not a data type. Then.
Yeah. Can you click on the sources tab once more?
Hmm?
Okay. Sorry, I missed. Where do you configure the source when you said? I missed that part.
On records, when you go to records, you can see like create a configure source, something like. And click on that, you can able to configure the
Oh,
source.
okay. Okay.
The next
But
thing is
why is it showing local data storage here?
because we have only
We have a table for this data type, right?
local
It's
data
showing table.
storage in the sense of PEGA PG admin only. It's not our
Oh,
file
okay.
manager or file system. Local data storage in
Okay.
the sense of local host storage.
Oh, okay.
If you want to export the records, we can also export, or we can also, if we want to import the records, we can also import. If you click on import, it will. We need to import the Excel file. If we click on export, the Excel file will be downloaded with these records. Okay.
Okay.
So when we run the activity by using OBJ browse, you can see that the clipboard structure as well, right? It will create a page. It will create a page list. In that page list, it will create a PX results, and in that PX results, we can see the data. Okay. So we simply blindly remember that when we are going to using the OBJ browser, it means whatever the page that it will be creating in the clipboard, it must be a page list property. Okay.
Okay.
And now I think that's it for today.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.